Okay, let's move on to number 29.
Number 29. Top 40 classic. Number 29. Top 40 classic.
Our friends in Chicago. Oh my goodness. One of my favorite cities on the planet, full stop. Amazing time during the summit. And, the best part about it is you eat good. You eat really good in Chicago. Oh my gosh.
And we did.
Good caloric intake. But you are number 29. The category was Force for Good. And I want to go back to Alan and Garrettson, the Duncan. That was in experience, design, and activation. So, Kyle, over to you, and then we're going to play some stuff.
You bet. Home security has become a price-driven category, and Master Lock needed to break out of it. Laughlin, Constable, and Master Lock began with a hard truth. People don't buy safes for peace of mind. They buy them because they need to keep things safe. For Master Lock's SentrySafe gun safes, research found that 4.6 million American children live in homes with unlocked loaded guns. Nearly one child a day is involved in an unintentional shooting, and secure storage reduces that risk by 90%. The agency landed on one core insight: a child cannot reliably tell the difference between a real gun and a toy. They built a 15-second film around that single truth, the length of time that many unintentional shootings happen to take. The difference doesn't tell anyone what to believe. It lets them feel the stakes. Placing at number 29, The Difference from Laughlin, Constable.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and play this spot, and then also the case film as well, and then we're going to talk about it.
Two-year-old son shot himself last week.
A 9-year-old hospitalized after he was shot by his 2-year-old sister.
Police say the girl's 5-year-old sibling shot her.
A family member tells CBS News the girl's brother thought he was firing a toy gun.
Our frontal brains that make decisions are not formed until we are in our mid-20s. That's why children and teens are more likely to not understand the importance of understanding gun safety.
To help protect the 4.6 million children still living in homes with loaded and unlocked firearms, Master Lock shifted their gun safe advertising toward making secure gun storage a personal responsibility for gun owners.
We know from years of rigorous research that safe storage prevents firearm suicide, homicide, unintentional injuries, and theft, especially when we're talking about youth injuries.
To convince gun owners, we needed to turn the data into a shared human truth. We did it in the amount of time it takes many unintentional shootings to occur. Only 15 seconds. After launch, sales of Master Lock's SentrySafe gun safes rose by 34%. But here's the most important metric. Every safe purchased is a child no longer at risk. And the possibility to prevent one of 350 children a year from unintentionally shooting themselves or someone else. If it means something, master it.
Okay. Very, bravo. It's just, it's so great. And unfortunately, this is something that we have to talk about a lot in this country. So let's start off with the strategy first and then where it went, because simple ideas are those that tend to have the most impact. And this is a simple idea, but it's rooted in a very important strategy. So walk us through that.
Cool.
I guess I can start, Marissa. You can help pick up wherever I leave off. I was wondering how you guys were going to pivot out of that case study video because it's not an easy one to start talking about it afterwards.
But it's the truth.
It is the truth. So I'll go back to the beginning with the assignment from the client, and that will lead us to what the strategy, how we got to this conclusion. So initially, we were asked by Masterlock to reposition the brand. So it started off as a whole brand assignment, and it went from protecting what matters is kind of what we used to do, which is a nice little thought, but that's something a lot of lock brands can do. And we wanted to reposition the brand to be all about responsibility. So that was the key insight. It was everything has to talk about responsibility, and we started coming up with new platform work. We came up with that line, "If it means something, master it," which we were all really excited about. And within that, we asked ourselves, how do we take this platform and apply it to products? And then if we do, what product do we want to apply it to? And we knew, out of all their products, everything has to do with responsibility, but one in particular rises to the top when it comes to a responsible product to own, and that's the gun safe. So we came up with the idea, we came up with the script, and then the key for us was just, if we're going to go after this, if we're going to do it, we got to do it without any judgment. We have to make it just be about, how this is the right thing to do. It doesn't need to be political. There's no reason for it to be political. Right. It's just, let's just put this out there and make an emphatic statement about the responsibility of having this product.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. And I think a lot of question probably around, well, how did you land on responsible? And I think for a brand like Masterlock, who's been around for so long, clearly a leader in the category, we identified the very human reality that at each stage of your life, there is an incremental responsibility that is being added. I mean, think about all the way back to when you're locking up your locker at school, right? That combination lock is a master lock. Well, as you start getting older, that responsibility increases, right? All the way to when you might have kids in the house and you are responsible for these kids. And I think back to Pat's point, there's no greater responsibility than them, right? And so the gun safe, the pistol safe became really a prime RTB that we wanted to put forward to the brand, and of course start to talk about that ultimate responsibility in a really human context.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, it comes off with a really powerful statement. It kind of reminds me of some of the Brady stuff that's been out through the ad council, just with that kind of heft and power, but the fact that it had a really positive outlook for your client is even better, because it's all for good, even if it's selling something. And so I think that really kind of resonated with me. What was your kind of inspiration to make sure that it carried a good enough heft but without getting too caught up in that?
I can jump in here. I think, this wasn't something that was even asked for. I think it was, we saw, to use that word again, responsibility. We saw responsibility in bringing an idea to the client that featured gun safes. I think, it was something that was really important to us as people, and, not just as creatives or as, agency people, but just as people, to just bring this to them and to hopefully, put some work out into the world that does some good. And then, we had a lot of different ideas. And like Pat said, we really wanted to make sure that it didn't feel judgy, it didn't feel political, that it was just based in this truth that kids, don't always know the difference. And that's where we landed.
Yeah. And what I'll say too is, and this is, I will say this to all the CMOs and marketers out there, this is a prime example of an agency that, and I would venture to guess that pretty much all of our members act this way. That bringing ideas that are that's going to move things forward, especially your business. This was something that, you said it very clearly. They didn't ask for this. This was important to us. They realized it was important to them. And yes, of course, the message is incredibly important. But the reality is we are all trying to grow our business. And as agencies, we're trying to grow our clients' business. So this is a prime example of trust your agency. They always have your best intentions and want to drive that business forward for you as well. curious to understand the reaction, whether qualitative, quantitative, both.
I mean, I can share the reaction in the room when we share the idea. I can start there.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, like I mean, I think the point is like we give our clients a ton of credit for trusting us and like being open. You know, it's one of those classic things where we filled the wall with ideas and had a couple different angles, but we really felt the power of that line. If it means something, master it. And the second they saw this script on the wall, it was immediate. We're doing this. They believed in it, they trusted it, and then there's like just figure out a way to make it, get it done. But we got to do that.
And I would say externally, I think we've seen a lot of qualitatively great reaction as well. We've had folks from outside organizations reach out as well after seeing the spot. Internally at their organization, I think there was a lot of I don't want to use the word excitement because that feels odd in context to this, but a lot of I think emotional reaction to it is something that of course the Master Lock brand would do this. Of course they would take on this this topic and talk about it in a way that's meaningful to all people, right? In a way that isn't judgy or casting shame. But I think there was a lot of internal pride for it as well. And I think we saw that even through some of the results we saw on the back end from consumers.
No, I love that. I love that. And again, a reminder, this category, force for good. So kudos to all of you. And thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations. Number 29.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll be out there for a Cubs game. I promise.
Be out here.
And you know what? I'll do both. I want to do the White Sox too. So we'll
do you
do
have
both.
to?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I got a buddy from the South Side. So come on. All right. Thanks, everybody. Congratulations.
Thanks, guys.